Okay, this is our meeting for Tuesday, April 25th, and for the new NAC, Linda, take it away.
I want to welcome you all here, and we're going to keep introducing ourselves so that we get to know each other. And I'd really like for you to start, Shaun, so that when you have to go and everyone here gets to know you. Shaun has been involved the whole time I've been involved. How did you meet James?
Well, I need to tell a short story because I could take an hour and I won't do it.
A
But
minute.
it started, I don't know how many here have an LDS background, but I was his home teacher. And he was totally dysfunctional, basically slept 20 hours a day, asked me to give him a blessing. And I did that, a priesthood blessing. Within a few minutes of me giving that blessing, 3 elders, Navajo elders, showed up at his door and took him to Navajo land to introduce him to the medicine. And that was the beginning of his healing journey. And there were some interesting things said in that blessing that I don't take credit for because I believe it was inspiration, but it was a powerful beginning. And because of that, I've been involved pretty much from the very get-go before there even was Oklahoma Native American Church. So
Cool. So Shaun, if you would just, we're going to start a formal introduction of this meeting. We like it to be grassroots. So if you'll say how you're feeling and what you expect to get today, and then pass it on to somebody who you see on the screen.
okay.
Let them share the same way.
As I was saying before we started, I don't feel very well tonight. I've been fighting hay fever, and I think something else is hitting me too, making me cough really bad and stuff. So I'm going to stay for a bit, but I'm probably going to go lay down in a bit. As far as getting it from, what I'm getting from this gathering is just connection with you folks. Some of you have been here before, and I feel already connected to them. And some of you I've known before, some for a long time. Steve and Linda, I know Steve longer than I know Linda, but not well. But we were in the music circles back 50 years ago, basically.
Yeah.
We were in the same music circles, but one of the things that I'm hoping we can talk a little bit about is, for want of a better word, because I don't like corporate words, but branding what we do in a way that will honor the tribes and the natives so that they can feel a trust in what we're doing and a feeling that we're on their side. We're not in opposition in any way to them. We're trying to forward their vision for our world. And I guess that's the kind of thing that I hope we can talk a little bit about tonight. Other than that, just here to enjoy getting to know you folks. Thanks. Christina, you're up.
How you feeling, and what do you expect to get out of tonight's conversation?
I'm feeling great. I'm excited to be here and grateful to be here. I guess just forming a connection, seeing my spirit family is really great, and seeing where we go.
Cool. And if you'd like to call on someone and invite them to share how they're feeling and what they expect to get out of today's conversation.
Gent.
Surprise, surprise.
How you feeling, Gent? What do you expect to get out today?
Christina and I have that kind of relationship. That tag you're it. I got whatever Shaun's got. So, I know we're not talking about it today per se, but Nathan and Steve and I had a good discussion the other day that's related a lot to what Shaun said. So I look forward to carrying that discussion forward. sooner rather than later. So, because I think that's an important part of what we're gonna do here,
Mhm.
because of the history of the history of all of it. So, yeah. So, looking forward to that. Let's see who's on. Mel's on.
Hey,
So how you feeling and what do you expect to get out of tonight?
I'm feeling really great. Had some really great connections today with some new people that I look forward to supporting with some diversity in the area. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, I just look forward to connecting and hearing, just kind of building on what we talked about last time, a couple weeks ago. And just each time we talk, looking forward to hearing like what new things we can add to build to get more clear direction, to hear what each role that each of us can play, how we can support each other as a whole and as individuals to move forward to make a big difference in this world. So I just look forward to sharing what I have. I've gotten clear on what I'm creating that I feel like can really add to this tribe and this group, and look forward to hear from everybody else as well. And I'll pass it on to little Al.
Hello.
How you feeling and what do you expect to get out of today? Everybody say that so that it comes from your heart and it's an invitation from each person to each person. Okay. How you feeling and what do you expect to get out of today?
What country are you in?
I'm in New York.
Oh, okay.
The country of New York. Hi everyone. So good to see you again, and also first time seeing Christina in this meeting. Good to see you. And yes, so I'm feeling peaceful and feeling very, how to say, I feel very connected. So thank you for giving this opportunity for us to connect and to brainstorm. And it's really every act of creation is beautiful because we're all here to create. We're all creators, and it's great to co-create, especially something so meaningful and so beautiful. So full of potentials and possibilities. And so I'm looking forward to just learning how we can all work together. And most importantly is to get to know each other's strengths and personalities and vibration, just feel the vibe. And also, I'm very interested to know about what kind of community we want to build. So thank you. I'm gonna pass on. I don't know who else haven't.
Kevin, Kate, Billy,
Billy? Okay.
Steve.
Well, I'm seeing Billy here, so I'm passing to Billy.
Okay,
If you're here.
I am, but I'm not going to be on camera.
Okay, so should I pass it to Steve instead?
Billy, do you want to share?
I do want to share, but I am really sick, guys. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
I can.
I'm sorry. I'm just very sick, but
So how are you feeling besides not a little bit under the weather? And what do you expect to get out of this meeting today?
well, I expect to get inspired like I did last time, and just to get a sense of who's here and what the full potential of our coming together is. I don't think there's some times in my world where I just know that it's a significant moment, a significant crossing of paths. And so there is potentially a great deal of life altering experience and or opportunity to work together with people that I would never maybe have had that opportunity, and never been able to do work in the way that that it looks like this is going to be to me. So what I see here is just a really tremendously powerful group of people who have skills and gifts and abilities that are really extraordinary. And so I'm very grateful for that opportunity, just that Linda invited me to be here and to contribute in whatever, our skills are, our skill sets can combine in ways that we just never thought possible. That's what I see is really, truly that potential, that we can take each of what we have individually and synergistically combine it together to produce the outcomes that we determine, So I apologize that I'm sick. I apologize that I hardly speak, but I'm grateful to be here and I'm listening. And I will pass it maybe to Steve.
Okay, let's go I'd like to be next to last with Linda. So Lynn, Kate, or Kevin, or Mel.
Mel, you want to take it?
Do I have you right, Mel? You haven't shared yet, right?
I already shared before Christina.
Okay,
Oh,
so Kate, Kevin, or Lynn?
how about Kevin? There's a name.
Unmute, Kev, and you're good to go. The weird thing is,
Hello, there you go.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Kevin. I'm from Hawaii. Feeling today, feel really good. So we're building, a couple of clients of mine offered some land to help build a healing center. And in that healing center, definitely want to bring back our Hawaiian culture and all these other aspects of it that has helped heal me in my process. But today we built our ahu. Ahu is an altar, and with that altar, we set our intentions of how we want this place to look. And so every time as we enter that space, we look at the altar, it reminds us what we're there for and to keep our eyes in that good way. So that was something. We've been on this property for about a year, and it's been on my mind for a year, and finally we got it done today, and so really relief. What I want to get out of this meeting is just connecting with like-minded hearted people, and just helping to push this movement of the old ways mixing with the new ways, and how can we bring more and more people into it, and also how can we help share each other's burden in doing the process. Is that community? It's one thing to be. So for me, all my teachers passed away, and so I'm kind of the main one now, and it's overwhelming. And to have other people in my position to help throw around ideas and how I can be a better leader is invaluable, and I'm grateful to be a part of this group.
One thing you said to me, Kevin, that really stands out, and I hope we can find answers for, is that it's illegal for you in Hawaii, it's illegal for you to do your indigenous medicine, and it's almost illegal to be Hawaiian. And so I'm praying that we can find solutions for that, because no indigenous person should not be able to use their medicine.
So for us being Hawaiian, it is okay for us to use it, but if we teach non-Hawaiians, it's not okay for them to use it. So
I think you froze, Kevin. I'm glad for that clarity.
So it's Kate's turn, I suppose, or Lynn. Who do you want to go, Linda, Kate or Lynn?
Doesn't matter.
Kate,
Kate,
how you doing? Go ahead and share.
And
Yeah.
now that the population, so people just coming in, those old ways and all the Western ways are coming and kind of drowning out the old ways. And used to be called the Aloha State, and there's a lot less Aloha than 30 years ago, and I'm sure a lot less than 100 years ago. But yeah, it's just trying to figure out how to bring that all in a way that yeah, everybody can use these ways. Because like I said, we're only 5-10% of the population now.
Wow. Wonderful. You want to call on Kate was ready to go, I think.
Hey, thank you, Kevin. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Hey, everybody. So I'm over here in Las Vegas in the United States. And what I'd like to get out of today is I love what Kevin shared, just really about contributing to one another and being there for one another, because when you build a new community, right, that's essential. And so it's really like weaving with each other in and out of this call, in and out of our everyday lives, being able to have the foundation that is strong, that essentially can become unshakable, you know. And I believe that we truly have one of the most magnificent, beautiful, blessed groups here that I have ever been a part of. And so I like the idea of getting an idea of what the vibe is, whose hearts are where, you know, what do you absolutely love to do, what brings you complete bliss and joy, you know, because that's where I feel that we fit in, right? And that's how I feel like I can contribute the most, is being able to contribute in a way that my heart just desires. You know, it's just fun. It's just playful because it's so natural, right? And then being able to learn from everybody else. And I also definitely love the value and of being able to be mentored by leaders, you know, and I'm in my growing phase, and I'm very, very open. And so I want to thank everybody for, you know, holding space, because this is a really safe, sacred space that I get to be a part of. And other than that, I'm feeling really great. So thank you very much. I'll go ahead and pass it on to Lynn.
Thank you, Kate. Appreciate it. I arrived a little bit late, so in terms of the format, I understand that we're just kind of sharing where we are today and our contribution, what we hope to get out of this meeting. You know, a big part of where I am today is really, first off, I think seeking to be able to identify the true overlap and alignment of all of our values and beliefs in this space, in this shared space together, and being able to really truly align those values and principles so that we know that our vision is accurate and correct amongst the community. And my desire for that, being able to see that alignment, is to be able to get beyond the challenges that I think that we have in a modern world of getting too wrapped up in political principles and losing ourselves and not taking care of the things that I believe are more important, which are spiritual principles. And a big part of that, and what I'm hoping to be able to achieve here is, and part of my contribution, is also really taking a close look at the current state of us and of the community and of the people that we're serving, and asking ourselves the question, how are we currently meeting the needs of the people in the very best way possible? I think that there's a very large gap that's unaddressed in terms of the community, and a lot of people that are frankly suffering and going through some very difficult times right now. And a big part of us being able to build a community is serving the people that we want to be a part of. We have our immediate community, but we have the community around us, and those community around us, I think the gathering of the lost sheep that we have a responsibility to is looking at all of the ways that we can be able to care for and gather and protect those that are in our community, and developing that, healing the family tree and uniting as one. So beyond that, I'm excited. I've been working on some big projects myself, some that I'd love to be able to share with the community and to be able to see where those alignments are. But I'm happy to be here and happy to be able to share my heart and my experience and knowledge to be able to benefit everyone here. So thank you.
Cool. Kim, you have two people who've joined the call. Nathan has joined the call and Kim has joined the call. So if you'd like to call on someone to share how they feel and what they expect to get out of today.
So Kim, if you can go next, and then Nathan, then Steve, and then I.
I'm sorry, what am I sharing?
How you feel and what do you expect to get out of today?
I feel tired, but I'm always energized to see beautiful, like-minded souls on a call. And so I'm always excited to see, you know, I'm excited to see what's gonna be discussed and talked about today in terms of where people are at. And so in terms of my expectations, I don't really have any expectations, but to just sit, listen, and see how I can contribute.
Cool. If you'd like to ask Nathan to share how he's feeling and what he expects.
Oh,
Brother
good.
Nathan, what's up?
Hi, Kim, Sister Kim, everyone. Love you all. I'm basically apologize for being a little bit late, but I was what I expect to get is just to learn more from each of you, and then also to get to know each and everyone better. One things what I'd like to also get perhaps is for an understanding with the universe that, you know, that our mind sometimes limits us, limiting self-beliefs, but to accept that the medicines can heal us along with prayers and things like that to make things better. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Cool. So you'd call on me, Nathan.
Yeah, calling you, Steve.
Okay, good. Thank you. Say, you know, this is our ritual, guys. How are you feeling? And what do you expect to get out of today's call? This really, because I think this gets everybody involved. This call is about grassroots. One thing that Linda keeps impressing upon me is instead of having this top-down thing where somebody up above you tells you what you're doing and how to do it, it's going to be you and I and us coming together in a way that supports everything from happening. I think institutions in the world today are tumbling. And the reason why is because the institutions fail to meet the grassroots needs, and that's us. And that's what our opportunity is to share. I love hearing the fact that Shaun set it off at the beginning here where he said that, you know, I'm going to go back and listen to his words, but the idea that we're not trying to appropriate anything. We're supporting the native spirituality, the native intuitive sense of being, and we're promoting that. And we want to do it in a way that lifts the tribes, that lifts you, that lifts me, that lifts all people. And to hear Kevin share his story about how he's got, you know, he's there in Hawaii and how he needs some help to get the message out to all the folks, not just the native Hawaiians that constitute 10% of the world in Hawaii, right? And that's our issue. You know, I some of you guys, I'm a Utah guy, so I come from a Mormon background, but we have a sacred book in the Mormon realm that talks about how Mother Earth is sacred and how the spirit of the earth wept at the time of Noah because of the wickedness of the people. The Mormons believe that the earth is a living being. The Aboriginal cultures walk that way. And I want to share that walk. I want to be part of that walk. I want to learn how to do that walk. And I'm doing my part to do what I can to organize these emails and meetings to make sure that each of you get your needs, that you are seen, that you are heard, and that you are able to make your difference. And so that's my purpose. And let me know if I ever drop off on that one. Okay. Linda, how are you feeling? And oh, one more thing. This meeting is supposed to go 90 minutes today. So we have another hour. And I will call an end of the meeting somewhere around quarter after to give everybody a chance to share how they feel and what their takeaway is. So heads up. Go for it, Linda. How are you feeling today and what do you expect to get out of this meeting?
I'm feeling wonderful, and I'm feeling so full of gratitude that each and every one of you are here. And I kind of want to tell you what we want to do in the next few weeks. So next week, I want Shaun and Nathan and Gent to run the meeting, and it will be talking about NAC and the Native people. And I asked Nathan, can a woman be the head of an NAC? And he said, if all of the group votes her in. So next week, I'm going to let those 3 people handle all of this. And then the week after this week, Steve will send out to you Aklava's code of ethics and code of conduct, and it says confidential, and a draft. And we're going to use that as a beginning ground to create our own code of ethics and code of conduct. And any changes or anything you want to add, just tell me why, so that I will form a committee and we will put that all together, and then we will bring it here to get approval. So next week it will be Shaun, Gent, and Nathan. And is there anybody else that would like to be a part of that committee that will bring how we're going to interface with other NACs, so that we do it in common unity? Because I'm not willing to do anything from the top down. Everything is going to be done in common unity. So
Linda, did you mean 2 weeks? Are we meeting every other week?
yeah, 2 weeks,
Okay.
in 2 weeks.
Sounds good.
Lynn or Kevin,
we have
or, oh, and Steve will be a part of that. Steve, Shaun, Gent, and Nathan.
Cool. We have a
And-
couple of other people that we've been notified would need to be invited to this meeting. Some of them have some unique skills, like Jana, who was going to attend the first time, then had a family emergency, hasn't quite recovered from that. She is a registered nurse in Portland and actually has been active over the last 5 years to help with the cannabis laws in the state of Oregon. But she's approached it uniquely. Her daughter, she had immune system issues, so got acquainted with cannabis. Then her daughter was autistic, and it went through all the pharmaceuticals and nothing helped. And there are certain cannabinoids that helped her, and she helped design legislation to make cannabinoid to help so that any registered nurse can consult patients on shifting from pharmaceutical drugs into cannabinoids and other natural plants. And so, like, she did a reading on me. She looked at my DNA profile and my labs off of my blood and recommended supplements and cannabinoid supplements from that. And so she's going to be a real plus when we start moving into making the science. And Nathan and Jen have talked about making the science, because Nathan and Jen have Jen's a PhD in biological stuff. And Nathan's had some great experience as a certified addiction counselor. So we're talking about putting together the science, and making it part of our curriculum, so that you as medicine people, and as you set up your community, you have some really scientifically based guidelines, so that Kevin, you can take this to your peeps, to the state, and so that's what we're hoping, that it's a grassroots movement from down below up.
That's why I want to ask Lynn. He's also very knowledgeable, if he wants to be a part of that committee.
Cool. Dynamite.
Okay.
I'll send you an email, Lynn, let you know what's going on. What's next, Linda?
All right. So we've gone over the vision the vision statement, the mission statement, and the value propositions. I'm wondering how everyone is feeling about that. You've got copies of it in your emails, and I'm hoping people have read it and we have feedback. And so we can put something together. It doesn't have to be cement. Has everyone read the email that came? So we're all on the same page.
I can bring up that email and share it on the screen, and then you can go down it on
Okay.
the item if you like, Linda.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna take a shortcut. Bam, there we go. And here's the share. Some of you, like Christina, really did a great job in terms of following the outline really, really well in terms of her goals, her her problems, and the several things. We've had Nicole suggested. Oh gee. Oh, there they are. Nicole suggested that you define who your community is and who our community would be. 3 things that are currently working for you in your community, 3 challenges that you and your community are facing, and 3 challenges the community will be facing in the near future. So everybody, I think probably this is probably should go up above this. And
So I want to start with the mission statement.
Okay.
And I would love to hear what people have to say. Not the one we have. Okay.
Okay, this is
So
we haven't defined this as a mission statement, but I will. It's kind of a vision mission statement. So this is it.
so I want to break it down so we have a distinct vision statement and a distinct mission statement. So I'm going to let Kim and Christine and Little Al, I'm going to ask you to, and if you can take notes, Steve,
Okay.
and just if one of you want to read it, and then let's talk about it.
Little Al, Kim, or Christina. Whoever's supposed to speak now, speak now.
Little L.
Thank you. Well, there you go, Christina. That's one way to do it. Do you feel good about conducting this, Little Al?
Well,
At least read that.
do
And
I,
then
do I read the statement?
Yeah, this statement right here.
Yes, the new NAC.
These
The
3
new
lines.
NAC offers.
Oh, gee.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Offers ceremonies, education, apprenticeship, and sanctuaries to support tribes members and those in our communities in creating common unity, to remember the wholeness and holiness of each individual as we honor our values through 7 generations past and present. And do I ask the next person?
No, Kim, what do you want? We'll ask you in a minute, Little Al, but Kim, what comes up for you on there? What do you like? What words do you like? What words do you have questions on? And then Christina, you're going to do the same thing, even though you volunteered to be last. You're going to do part of this, okay? So Kim, do you feel good about discussing that statement?
Yeah, I mean, I can give my first impressions. I'm curious, to make, I always think that when we're using words, it's important that we have a common vocabulary and understanding of what those words mean. So I'm just wondering, when we say education, what does that entail? When we say an apprenticeship, what does that look like? I think I have a decent sense of ceremonies, because I think those are going to be very my guess is we're not just talking about ceremonies with plant medicines, but just sacred ceremonies kind of in general, of which there's a lot of traditions, with just even within our Native American and other indigenous, cultural traditions that don't necessarily center around plant medicines. And I'm curious what we mean by sanctuaries. I like the words. I'm just curious what they mean for us.
So education and apprenticeship, I think the whole group needs to define that. Because I don't think it's just teaching people how to be medicine people, but I think that education means teaching our children from early ages in a different way than the education system does. And much of our soil has been turned into dirt, and our waters are polluted and filled with plastic. So those are big definitions, but sanctuary is a new word, and James are now beginning to make individual homes sanctuaries where they can have medicine in their home and be able to do things in their home like churches, but they're not a church. And so we need to talk about all of these words, and thank you, Kim, for helping us break this down. And it's more, and a sanctuary, the first part of the definition is a spiritual dwelling. And I think we probably need to define common unity also. So, Christina, you've had experience in making vision and mission statements. So what are your comments? And then anyone in the group who wants to add.
So a mission statement is it's the passionate connection to something of what we're trying to do for the community. I kind of put, there comes in business mission statements and then your group mission statement. So I just put, for what I wrote, I put, all are welcome to learn the depth and full expression of self-love, to find a connection within yourself. I thought that was important, to develop that connection with self, to fully develop ourselves, because the more developed we are is what we give back to the community. So I think just having something with self-development is important. I like that. And common unity. I like how we say common unity, because that kind of just circumvents into community, which is what we're trying to build, which is really important. And those were my takeaways.
And Steve likes to use the word grassroots, but because that has so much.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Kim. Please, everyone, take care of yourself. Billy and Shaun and everyone who isn't feeling well, please do. The reason I don't like the words grassroots is because they're so politically tied, but I'm interested in all of our opinions.
I have a thought on common unity as well, just to throw out there, see what you think. I think that it's important to recognize that all of us have our own passions that are driving us to do this work. There are things that matter to me and that might be a little different than what matters to Steve or Linda or Christina or whoever. But we can focus on the things that we have that are common, that draw us together and help us to have that unity to move forward as a group while respecting the differences. I believe that diversity is a strength as long as there is a central unity that guides it. So whatever that's worth.
Shaun, that's beautiful.
I'm going to write some words down here, Shaun. If you don't like them, you speak up or send me a chat. And that goes to everybody here. I'm just taking notes. That's all I'm doing. And I'm doing the best I can. So
And because we have the whiteboard up, I can't see people to call on them. So
you can
I
fix that in a
really
hurry.
want people, okay.
Little Owl she read, but she didn't get a chance to share. And I'd love to hear what she has to say. You called on her first.
Thank you, Steve. Yes, I totally agree with Shaun. To find something that speaks to the hearts of this group that is that really matters and that is truly meaningful for all of us, and something that brings us very close together, that we feel it is a compassion, something that is like a fire burning.
Beautiful.
And I like to find that, and what brings us all together, that we can share this fire with the world.
I think that's really important, because in a group like this, as long as I'm practicing my medicine, living my life consistent with the values, with the mission statement, with the value proposition, with the things that we're going to develop, as long as I do that, it might be appropriate for me to sit in the back in the shadows for a little bit as the group moves ahead, but come along with the group, because as we spread out, there's going to be that person out there whose life I can touch, even though I haven't made a big deal in the group and I seem like I'm sitting back not doing anything. At one moment, I'm going to be able to touch someone. And so each person has a specific passion or fire, and it's an important fire. And sometimes I judge myself by what's going on around me. And this group is about supporting the individual passion, the individual fire within within our values, within our code of ethics, within our code of conduct, which we're going to be reviewing in a couple weeks.
With that, I want to call on Mel, because that is her heart. That is who she is. So I'd really like to hear from Melinda.
Okay. Do you want to hear what I'm kind of creating right now that can
You follow your heart.
Okay, yeah. So I am just, the thing that lights me up the most is seeing other people succeed and supporting other people. Now that I've been able to get out of my own way and do my own inner healing and all of that work, I am living in abundance. My cup is overflowing, and therefore I have nothing to do with it except for share it with others and help others, assist others in doing the same by giving them options of what I've done or people around me, and just raising the vibration. So what I am creating that I think can be a big benefit, I'm waiting for my girl Rimsha to come in, kind of move in with me for a little bit. We are going to be creating a podcast called Mel and Rimsha, Her Story, and it's about global connections. When I had my first peyote ceremony, it hit me that all this other stuff I was doing with like my business that was successful business, making good money and all of that, it was a distraction. It was taking away from my family and what was most important to me. It was fine having it, but the intention wasn't, I don't know, it was just more of a distraction. And I just realized connection is the most important thing to me. So we plan on creating a podcast that's about her story. We've had a lot of history, and I want to support specifically women and the divine feminine. So it's not just women, but the men that, the sensitive, the loving, the caring ones that actually want to make a difference in this world. That's kind of the focus. Is so we want to share our story, our unique medicine. We've worked really hard to, I don't know, just learn some really valuable things that we want to share. I don't want to die with that medicine within me. I want to share it. And then I want to hold space for the divine feminine to share their story. So I want to have a space where they can share their story on like a weekly basis and connect with people all over the world. I don't want to just hear, I'm from Utah. I've lived in Utah my whole life. I don't want to just hear the white girl's story or the white man's story. I want diversity. I want all walks of life, different countries, different ethnicities, everything, share their story. And at the end of every podcast episode, I want people to get in the habit. And so we're going to ask them to share, what is it that you want to create in the world? Like, what's your dream? What would you love to create? And what support would you need to create it? And so no matter how, like, as little or as big as it is, I want people to start dreaming again, to think about what is their desire? What do they want? And then get used to asking people like, hey, this is the support I would need. And start connecting people directly together. So if someone comes on and the people that we want would want on our show or on our, to share their story, is basically any story that inspires us and that we feel like would be inspiring to other people. The bum on the street, I want to share their story. The LGBT, like people that the minorities out there that people haven't spent time to like hear their story and to hear their hearts and where they're coming from, and have maybe automatically judged them or put them in a box. I want to hold space for them to be able to speak and share their story. I understand I am a white girl. I have privilege just being that, white man, number one on the totem pole, white woman, then we have color, then we have LGBT, then we have it's a harder thing to go through, like, I don't know, just the further down you get in that. And I'm like, I want to use like my privilege, my abundance to be able to support those people that just have an uphill battle, that can't just start doing some of the things that I'm doing. And so anyways, I want to create that space. And so that will help with this tribe of what we're doing. Each of you people that have good hearts, your medicine people, your healers, you care big. I want you to come on and share your story of what you want to create and ask, like, this is what I want. I want land to create this. I want this and that. And then I would ask, like, okay, what we need here on this podcast is for you, if you found purpose, or not purpose, but if you loved what you heard and found value from it, we want you to share this podcast with your friends, your influence, so it can grow, because the bigger this thing grows, the more we can connect people on a global level. So I need everybody's connections. And then directly at the very end, say, hey, if you resonate with this person that had gone to these hard struggles of divorce that I haven't gone through, I want you to reach out. You can email this person directly for friendship, for support, for whatever connections you have, you can hook up together. So I think it can be a massive, I'm picturing this web, this really big web and this firm foundation. And I want as many web links as I can to it. It's not about money. Maybe somehow money will come from it. Literally don't care. That's not what it's about. I want to like raise the vibration. I want to connect people with other people. And the bigger we can grow this and have like tons of viewers, maybe we can, and listeners, and like have it be a community thing where we talk, what do you need? What conversations do we need to have? And they're vulnerable, they're authentic, they're real. And then the bigger it gets, like, I feel like there is strength in numbers. I realize the people ruling the world, or the top like 3%, is the rich, powerful men typically that are making all the rules for everyone. And I think there's strength in numbers, but everyone is alone. And we're like, well, how do we use this strength in numbers? So I feel like this is a platform that can be created. And then eventually, if we need to like sign some petition on something, maybe we can flip the script on who's being ruled, because we have enough signatures of something to like make a difference. So anyways, that's kind of what we're working on creating right now, putting it together. Hopefully can launch that this year. and hope that can benefit this tribe and group in a big way. I just want to support the healers out there and have a global network for all the healers to go to and support one another and connect directly to each other who are passionate about the same things. So anyway, that's what I want to create.
Thank you, Mel. So who would like to add to that first part? Because I've always seen Mel as a medicine woman, and medicine is defined as anything that heals. And every word that came out of her mouth is about healing. And I take it back to none of us is broken. We're simply remembering our wholeness and our holiness. And that's what Melinda will be doing. So, which again is part of the foundation that we're building. So who else would, Steve, do you want to go back to the whiteboard?
Absolutely.
So how would you sum that up, Mel, in a few words? Under education or?
Let's see. Yeah, it's providing a space for each person to be seen and heard, to share their unique medicine. And then to be able to connect them. So holding safe space, that's who I am. I am a safe space holder. That's when you're with me together or online, just like create safe spaces for us to, I guess, tap into our own unique divinity and gifts and own that, and then be able to share them and connect with others. I don't know.
Yeah, can I say something?
Please.
Yeah, so Mel, that's beautiful. And so the way that I see it, I'm always thinking about the kids too, right? And so for me, it's like teaching vulnerability, teaching transparency, teaching like you can feel safe to speak your truth, you know, and that very much so often comes from, if not always, just who we are, our essence, like the God within us, right? And to be able to have these conversations, especially with children, because they already have the language, it's just suppressed. And so for me, I absolutely see these conversations, these connections as an educational experience wholeheartedly. It is like every part of my being, every cell lights up when I even think about it. And without it, I don't know how we move forward, honestly, you know, without those true connections and those, yeah, I mean, how do you heal without it? How do you, like, mental health, you know? So yeah, it would be under health, wellness, education is, I think, where I would categorize it. Yeah. And I'm coming from, like, you know, medicine as far as connection. Number one, it is by far the strongest, most potent medicine, and sound healing, you know, vibroacoustic therapy, just because that is an avenue of medicine that opens up the heart, right? And gets you to just be in the moment. So for me, it's all education. So thanks.
Yeah, and we're educating each other through sharing our stories and our vulnerability. And that's what this is going to be all about, is it's through complete vulnerability and no, like, taboo topics, like all the things. It's like we just need to talk about it with no shame, no more shame. Just talk and share and learn from one another and get a different perspective changes everything. So that's what it's going to be all about, and getting as many people and varieties of people as we can on it, I think, is going to make a difference. And then we'll get compassion in our hearts of being like, oh, that person's not so scary. They sound really loving. Oh, wow. Now I know how their mind works. That's actually pretty cool. Don't fear it anymore. Now love, connect.
Yeah, exactly. It's the thoughts. It's like, oh, you have a voice that talks to you too? Me too. Oh, we all do. You know, and talk about the voice in our head, right? So yeah, just put it out there. shine light in the darkness.
That's right.
Mhm.
Okay. Steve, do you want to make us full screen again? Or here I can, I think, maybe.
No,
Okay.
Or
So
if-
Lynn, because yours is in such a different way, but it also brings in the diversity. Do you want to kind of talk about what you're seeing?
Yeah, Linda, I'd be happy to. Just to mirror, first off, I think that all of the vision that Mel and Kate and others have shared is beautiful. And I think that those are all essential parts of how this ultimately works. In terms of the NAC vision, I think a big part of understanding vision is coming up with an understanding of where are we trying to go and who are we trying to be in that process. And I think one of the things that I see amongst all of the people in this group is that we are a council of tribal leaders. We all have our own individual perspectives and experiences, but we're leaders of our respective communities. So a big part of being able to find that common unity is also seeking those ways for collaboration, cooperation, and contribution that I think we all deep within our heart of hearts want to be able to provide. And so, especially with me, I've been blessed with a very practical spirituality, like many desperate people, I think, and I need spirituality, and I need God, and I cannot, otherwise I can't cope in this world. I need to know that there are new alliances that are possible and new ways of communicating that will help us to elevate this entire journey for all of us, and not to create new walls that weren't there before. I think that part of that uniting this vision is in being able to see us all as God's children and us as the individual light that's in all of us, and respect and honor that process, but be able to use our joint efforts to be able to guide and lead others on this path. And so in terms of being able to understand what that vision is for all of us, I think about this myself, and what Linda was kind of alluding to is that I kind of think about this in terms of, yes, these higher spiritual principles, but also recognizing, as I think many of you understand with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right, is that we all have these needs that have to be met in order for us to be able to achieve higher spirituality and higher connection. And that includes the physiological needs, the safety, love, and belonging. And I think that a big part of us being able to develop that community is also looking at all of the ways that we're providing and protecting within that aspect of developing community as well, not just the highest self-actualization of going through a medicine journey and thinking that that's the end of the journey, that there's so much more to us being able to grow beyond that. Linda, I think I'd be happy to share more about the projects that I'm working on, but I think for the context of the vision, I think that's what I'd like to share.
Does anybody else have more to add to this? Steve, if you want to go back, please take a minute and read through and see if we have anything else that we want to, because we can take everyone's words and we can dig through it and put it together. Where a mission statement is our action and a vision is what we want to see out there. Do we have anything else that we want to add?
Yeah, for me, what really helped change my life. So when Lynn talked about God and to have something about creator or some higher power in there, like I feel like that's the whole base of our culture is learning how to not just develop our own individual, but also our connection to that creator, that Akua, that like, so that's like our foundation in our culture.
And Steve, do you want to go get that part that I have in there and put it with what Kevin said?
What part is that, Linda?
The wing ones, the two-legged, the four-legged, the because for me it is also very much
Mm.
it is just
all yeah. And also, yeah, with the land, the Aina, like all of it, the water. Like, I know this is supposed to be a shortened one, so I was not too sure how to make that all short. But yeah, because it talks about individual, but I feel like somehow it needs to go from individual to something greater too.
Yep.
Here's the line you were talking about, Kevin. I'm going to put creator. I'm going to put land up here. And there's this, this is part of the,
Let's put land, Mother Earth.
this is part of the connection part that everybody's been talking about. A couple people have used that word connection. I think Mel used that word connection specifically, but you're right. We need to have creator in there.
I can just mirror what Kevin's saying. I think that creator is central to this entire process personally, and us helping to even refine our own thinking up to this stage as a group, to being able to better understand all of this as a way of being, as a way of life, as defined by the creator, and as has been passed down for many generations since our recorded history of the way of life and the path that we're supposed to walk, to be in alignment with God and his purposes.
So I just stuck it in there, Linda, and we'll edit through it.
Okay.
May I add
Please.
a little?
Go for it.
Since this is a Native American church, I think it would be a very powerful thing to add indigenous wisdom, the way because of most of the indigenous, how they live, the way they live spiritually, how they connect with Mother Earth, with the universe. And every prayer starts with the Great Spirit, great creator. And I think that's a very important foundation for Native American Church's mission and statement, is to honor that, the indigenous teaching and wisdom, and how they relate to a much bigger sense of our existence.
To what you said, Lil Al, I just talked with a friend. He's become a friend. He's a Zoom friend over the last few years, but I would call him a brother. He's a psychologist who just went to a meeting there in Seattle area, and it was up in Canada, in Western Canada, and anyway, and he ended up being surprised, honored for his contributions over the last 30 years in suicide prevention, different kinds of healing. In that regard, he was involved in a presentation. These people were hooting and tooting about how they were 150 years old, and part of that meeting was Aborigines from Australia, who talked about 60,000 years of history. And they presented 60,000 years of history to this group of white people, mostly white people in British Columbia, So, wow, to bring up indigenous wisdom is really profound. Thank you. These are all great ideas.
Go for it, Kim.
Yeah, I personally, before you start, I personally like the Great Mystery as well, because it adds, Lilo, you're kind of nodding, but the Great Mystery adds that. It's hard to own the Great Mystery, right? Some people can say, well, I own the Creator, or I own Mother Earth, but it's hard to own the Great Mystery.
That's my favorite word. Thank you, Steve.
I've been busting a gut, holding back the whole time, so I'm so delighted that I didn't. And each of you should not hold back. Go ahead, Kim.
No, I think Just basically, especially when I think of our children, and thinking about our connection 7 generations past and how we want to carry our ancestors' dreams of us, right, forward, 7 generations forward. And I think, us remembering how to be in right relationship with being the caretakers of, our great mother who provides everything for us, and that is for me a core value, that I'm hearing, in different ways, but coming from everybody in this group. So I would put something to that, to try to capture that in some way.
Beautiful.
And again, we have that down there, Steve. So bring it up so they can see. And
this is the part about the winged ones and the finned ones right there.
well, that goes up with the other part, but somewhere in there I have 7 generations past and 7
Oh, that's right
generations.
that's right at the top, and I added all my relations, so it's right on the bottom.
Okay.
Here it is right here.
Okay.
Wholeness and holiness of each individual as we honor our values through all through all our relationships, 7 generations past and present.
Yeah. And can you think of some words that will make that stronger, Kim?
Go ahead.
I don't know to that specifically, but what comes through to me as well, and this I think is in connection with the idea of creator, but I think about this, and maybe it's just going to get too wordy, but because we could wordsmith for and put all kinds of great thoughts in. At some point it has to be digestible for people, but just this idea about not just our relation, our relationship with each other here, but for me, I think about just this cosmic consciousness and our connection that feeds from what I would call cosmic mother, through to Mother Earth. And Mel talked about a web, and for me, that consciousness is a web that we all are connected to through our hearts and our souls.
I totally love that. And so I put down cosmic web. I think that's a critical part, needs to be in there. One of the problems with all my relations, again, that gets so owned, right? People think of, well, I'm related to people, but I'm related to the rocks. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for iron. And it takes at least one supernova to create iron. So I'm literally a star child. I'm literally the product of stars. So this cosmic web is really essential. I do believe, and I don't want to get too heady here, but they're in quantum physics now, they're saying that there's an electron field, and an electron is simply a perturbation on a field. And in fact, all electrons are the same electron. And it could be very possible that all thoughts are the same thoughts. All prayers are the same prayers. And we're just blessed to have that perturbation occur within our own physiology. So there may be nothing unique about me at all, except that I seem to be aware of myself somehow. Sorry to get too quantum. Any other comments, questions?
I think Nathan, was that you that put in the chat about and protecting the medicines and our extended families? And I wonder if the meaning is to go with being the caretakers and that, connection of how we're all related. I don't want to speak words for you, but
Well, that's okay. I don't see a chat from Nathan. I think he's on his iPhone. It makes him difficult. Oh, there it is, iPhone.
Yeah, it says iPhone.
Yeah, one of the heaters also told me, one of the healers, I'm sure, about protecting the medicines and extended family. Yeah. So I'll just put that in here and then we can deal with it. Yeah, and listen, this is going to be one of the big conversations as protecting the medicines. And so I'm putting that in, Nathan,
Can I add a word?
please.
As the discussion has talked about the earth, and I think the idea as we come together, and define what it is that we are passionate about, it sounds to me like every person who is sharing that they have freely chosen to be accountable for the earth and for the journey and for the for the transition one generation to another of wisdom, that we are stewards, or in some way we have all come together in a knowing that there is this accountability and stewardship, and I just think of how knowledge and wisdom has been preserved and passed on the planet through time. And so I'm not sure what the word is, but there has to be a word that describes that part of our why we come together, safeguarding or something like that, or stewardship or being accountable. Do you understand what I'm trying to
Absolutely. And I think, Billy, that I'm really embarrassed I didn't think of it, because if we're going to have a grassroots or a bottom-up movement or a people and individual first movement, it's going to take personal accountability.
Right. And
okay,
yeah.
There's no other way to do it without personal accountability. So I'll say individual choice, and I'll put in parentheses here accountability, and those words need to be put into this. Because this
responsibility,
accountability and responsibility, and we can define those. Because accountability is the ability to account for reality, and responsibility is the ability to respond to reality. So
I also thank you. So what I'm hearing is all around the word commitment. There's a commitment. What we're committed to.
Yeah.
Sort of the greater why.
Yeah, this is where Shaun brought up the idea that while each of us have the obligation to be accountable for our unique experience and to hold true to our unique vision, that by having shared values, each of us can find a place there.
Right.
The values are bigger than me, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Now, you know what? It's 7:14. We got about 15 minutes left. And so normally, Linda, this would be a good time why don't you say, if you want to say something, otherwise we'll begin our outros, which every person will say how they're feeling right now and what their big takeaway is. We've got like 12 people on the call here. We've got 15 minutes. So each have about a minute each. A minute each. Say how I'm feeling and what's my takeaway. And let's see, who haven't we heard much from here? Gent, we haven't heard much from Gent. Gent, how you feeling? What's your takeaway today? I know you were participating vigorously, by the way. I know you were. So
yeah,
how are
so
you
I thought a lot about this as everyone was talking, and I've seen this in ceremony. I've seen it with myself when our egos get in the way. But I'm feeling very hopeful because we've talked a lot about teaching, but every ceremony I've been in with a native elder or any elder I've been around, when people come up and ask for advice, they always say, well, why are you asking me? Did you pray about it? They don't give advice. And their teachings are through examples.
Mm.
So that's all I got to say.
You want to pass it on to someone else, Gent? Thank you.
Sure, yeah. Let's see. Who's all still on? How about Little Al? Are you getting younger, Little Al? I think you're getting younger.
I'm young at heart.
Yeah.
I feel young all the time.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's how I feel right now. Thank you for mentioning it. Yeah, I feel like a little kid and feel it's like, time is an illusion. So we just come here and play. And I feel playful because we did a really great thing creating this mission statement together. And that's the biggest takeaway. We actually put things together. It's just like, I'm a painter, so I see this, like, everybody throw their color. It's such a beautiful co-creation. You don't know what's going to look like until you actually get together and get your hands dirty and just jump in. And that's what we're doing. And I really appreciate that we just show up. That's the only way to get things moving, is we all showed up. So it's a great takeaway. I'm so grateful to see all of you.
You want to pass it on to someone else? How are you feeling? What's your
Let's
takeaway?
pass it on to Kim. Kim's hand is up.
I don't think so. Is it?
No,
There are
it's
two.
I'm just resting on it. That's okay.
Oh, maybe it's something in your background.
Oh, that could be. I'm feeling I guess I'm feeling grateful. I'm still tired, but I'm feeling grateful. And I think grateful because this really is about working together and the connection piece and understanding that, at least for me, I'm very grateful to be able to be in this space and to have the ability to be on a call like this with folks and to co-create, as when she was talking about. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling, and encouraged.
Pass it on to someone else. How are you feeling? What's your takeaway?
I'll pass it on to Christina.
Hi, everybody again.
What's your takeaway?
I'm feeling excited and grateful to be here. Grateful to be here with my greatest teachers. You're all here. So thank you so much for this space. I'm feeling excited about seeing how this unfolds, seeing what creation really does when you do the work. So thank you for this opportunity, and I'm passing it to Mel.
Yeah, I'm feeling really excited and hopeful too. It's great just hearing people's bits and just what they want to share to add to it, to make sure that this is full and has all of, like, that's very intentional, and that we have the right words, and that it's the right energy of what we all want to create together. And yeah, I love the different perspectives and the different things that are being shared to create something just fully beautiful. I'm not just from one person's side, but from, everybody's, and it's just exciting to see. And yeah, we just keep adding to it, and I love it. It's great. So I will pass it on to Kate.
And so Mel, when we pass it on, please, everybody get this. Ask Kate, how are you feeling and what's your takeaway today? Come from your heart with those questions. Don't just assume they get what your invitation is. Speak the words. Thank you.
All right, Kate, let me do this. All right, Kate, how are you feeling? And what did you get out of this call tonight? I want to hear from you.
Kate had an emergency, so she may not be there at her office.
Okay, well, how about Billy?
Hmm.
How are you feeling, my dear? I love you very much. And what did you get out of this call tonight?
Thank you. And I wanted to come on I just wanted to be able to say this. What I'm feeling, energy. And my takeaway from this is possibility. And you know, one of the things I see possible is the connection between divine masculine and divine feminine becoming the at the base of the tree from which all things are created with those two and within those two energies, and the connections that manifest have beauty and power. And that for me, it is is what will raise the planet, the energy, the connection, the view on the planet, to the conversation on this planet, for what it means to be here together in this journey. So I'm feeling that it's possible to be part of that. Who's left? Let's see.
We got Lynn, we got Nathan, we got Kevin.
All right, I'm gonna pass it to Lynn. How are you feeling, and what's your takeaway?
Thank you, Billy. I'm feeling great, thank you. And I'm really encouraged, like many of you, with these meetings and with this opportunity to get to know all of you better and to hear more of your vision. What I see and what I take away from hearing from each individual is that we all have shared vision and desire to genuinely help and leave the world better and leave people better than we found them. And I'm excited to be a part of building this unstoppable force for good in the world. And I hope that we can all become patient and in this process, especially as we even seek, search for the right words to be able to better communicate and understand with each other that shared vision as it unfolds. And I'm excited to watch this process and watch this unfold, because I don't know that there's anything set in stone about who we are or who we are becoming. I think that it's naturally unveiling itself as we pull apart the layers of this opportunity to better define who we are and where we're going. So thank you. I'm excited. And Stephen, who did you say is left? I apologize.
We got Kevin and Nathan. Did I leave anybody out? Kevin and Nathan.
Nathan, are you there, Nathan? Let's try Kevin. Kevin, are you there?
No, Kevin. Nathan just showed up.
Oh, Nathan, how are you feeling, and what's your takeaway for today?
Oh, you got to open your mic, I think, Nathan. Something's going on there. There might be an issue with the fact you're on here twice. Why don't we go with Kevin and, oh, wait, there we go. Nope, we're not hearing you. We heard you just for a split second, Nathan. I'm not sure what's going on. Let's give, yeah. I want, your other phone is still connected. I think that might be the issue. Zoom doesn't do too well with both those things. So Kevin, why don't you take it away, my friend? And then when you're done, call on Nathan. Let's hope he can share. Okay, Kev?
Yeah, I had to figure out the mute. How I'm feeling. Whew. So like I talked about before, like more responsibilities kind of stress me out, and yeah, I sometimes go back and forth about like adding on more responsibilities, and I feel a lot more at ease. How this is a lot easier than I thought it would be, and I'm grateful for everybody sharing and being able to do this. What I take away from this, like I'm a little bit more on the hard side. Like I enjoy like the softness of everybody want love and all these different kind of things, but I don't know. I think maybe I might have to bring some more of this. I don't want to say tough, but more, I guess, more masculine energy or divine masculine or something. Because I don't know, and I don't know how that looks like. So I'm kind of worried about how to express that, because sometimes it could seem overbearing for a lot of people. And yeah, just trying to figure out how to intertwine the masculine and the femininity of things.
Kevin, I'm going to invite you to spend some time with Steve. He'll be really good at helping you find your words.
And direct some of that energy, my brother.
I'm back.
You are back, Nathan. Please go ahead.
Yeah, turn off the phone and such. But yeah, good hearing, Kevin. Good hearing you all. How I'm feeling is that I'm thankful for all of you. I'm feeling good about all this that's going on, the shared vision, shared responsibilities. And then, of course, I'm feeling like, I tried to do something on my own without the special medicine and such like that. And then things kind of got to different levels. So now I pulled out one of my sacred medicines. And then that I could feel that power from that. And some of the natives feel that a lot of these medicines that we don't want to fully expose, because they could be taken advantage of by the pharmaceutical companies. So I put one medicine away and things like that, but they're very powerful. And so how I'm feeling is that grateful for each and every one of you. I know peyote and all these other ones out there and things like that, but I'm just feeling that grateful for each and every one of you. And my takeaway is that you all are doing really well with the mission work. We're doing well and such like that. So the other takeaway was we got to, like we said, a safe environment. Everyone said we have a safe place, and then that forgiving has to be a big part of it too, like forgiveness, and then people have to forgive themselves too, and then move on and things like that, and somehow how to empower others to accept the gifts and everything. So that's how I feel. Thank you all, and apologize for being in and out of the technology. That's the other thing too. I'm feeling that technology can do a lot of good things for us. A lot of times it's hurting our children, but then we got to try to bring it all together in a good way. That's all. All my wishes.
Oh, Nathan. Now, Nathan, I'm the last guy here to go, so it's your turn.
No, I'm the last. I have to go next. Billy and I have to hop off. We've got another meeting at 7:30.
Wow.
I love you all. I'm going to let Steve wrap up. We've done a beautiful job. I'm so proud of us. And again, next week will be the guys presenting NAC. In a month, we'll be doing the Code of Ethics and the Code of Conduct. And I really need people to spend time going through there and seeing what needs to be, what is left out and what can be left out. So I love you all, and I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Okay, cool. And you're supposed to say how you're feeling, Steve, and what's your takeaway.
How are you feeling, and what is your takeaway?
I think this honors personal sovereignty, which I think is what this conversation is all about, is each person owning their divinity, owning their sovereignty with Creator as co-creator, and then each of us coming together to share. You guys I've just been so thrilled with everybody's ideas and what's going on here. It's really great to sit in the back seat. I do notice I get to push some buttons and I get to type some words. So I do have a sense of control. There's that part of me. I do want to offer a couple things. Number one, you'll notice every time you see new NAC, it's in quotes. I don't know what this is going to be. Just like Lynn said, just like others have said, what is this going to be? In fact, what's coming up for me today is we ought to call ourselves the Cosmic Web Church, the Great Mystery Church, because I don't want to leave out the Aborigines of Australia. And I'll tell you, not just because when she is here, but if the Chinese really got to their origins, if the Chinese culture, the Mayan culture, the Egyptian culture all came together, we find out it's one place. And I don't want to leave anybody behind. And Native Americans kind of restrictive, it sounds like to me. I don't know. So there's a thought on that. The other thing I wanted to point out was that, and this is, I get to editorialize maybe every once in a while. I do agree with bringing feminine and masculine together. And there's no reason for Kevin to feel like he's got this masculine issue. The other day I was listening to the radio, hearing about masculine toxicity. And then they gave examples of women who are being toxic, but they didn't have feminine toxicity. And a word that came up for me is hegemony. Hegemony is when any group or person or organization tries to control some other organization, group, or person. So rather than call it masculine toxicity or masculine hegemony or feminine hegemony, let's just talk about hegemony. Let's just talk about people who want to take unrighteous dominion over any person and leave the gender out of it, so that we're talking about the issue and not about a thing. That's just my food for thought. I do also want to comment on the fact that when I went into the sweat, one thing that amazed me was in the sweat, I learned that I'm in the center of the universe. Each individual is the center of the universe. I learned it with relativity. Einstein was big on it. Space is relative to the observer. Each observer is the center of the universe. The Native Americans knew that. They taught it in the Sweat Lodge. And I think when the center loses its bearing, then there's chaos. Each individual must find their center. Each individual has the opportunity of finding my center and bringing my sovereign self to the whole, and then sharing values that give me a position. And so if my whole time is to be quiet, I'll be quiet, because that I share the values, and I'm glad to see the energy go and grow. So there's my 2 cents. My takeaway is what a powerful group. And boy, are we on the right track for a cosmic web church, whatever we're going to call it. I don't know, but I love that idea. So thanks for the cosmic web, Kim, and thank you for reinforcing my great mystery, because I was holding back. So maybe I won't hold back quite so much. Thank you all. And we're 4 minutes beyond the appointed time. My problem. Thank you very, very much. See you next time around. Kevin, you get a hold of me, dude.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Aho.
Aho.
Bye.
Xie xie.